To recount the story of the modern U.S. hemp industry, we must take a journey back in time, 80-plus years before the signing of the 2018 Farm Bill, which transformed industrial hemp from a Schedule I narcotic into a potentially profitable crop for American farmers. Our path takes us on a captivating saga, a voyage that unravels the intricate tapestry of America's complex relationship with all things cannabis. Our spotlight, the enduring spirit of industrial hemp. Get ready for a story that demands attention, a narrative that enlightens, and a legacy that perseveres. To truly grasp the story of hemp's prohibition, we must venture deeper into the annals of history, back to an era before counterculture and negative stereotypes, back to the days when hemp's taxation triggered its initial prohibition. This was the turning point when a once profitable crop transformed into a historical legend, a legend that is riddled with stories of addiction and alternative lifestyles. But this same story will also set the stage for an unwavering quest to recover the lost knowledge of how hemp was profitably produced for commercial purposes. There is no denying, since the 1930s, the United States has had a complex connection with all things cannabis. But let's revisit why we ceased producing hemp-based products and try to shed some light on the history of hemp prohibition, in order to pave the path for future hemp farmers. The plot to end hemp production was hatched in the shadows before World War II in America. Some feel this was because hemp was so profitable in the trenches of World War I.
Did you know that during the First World War, U.S. farmers played a pivotal role in supporting essential Allied wartime efforts by cultivating hemp, a versatile and invaluable resource? These dedicated farmers were contracted to grow hemp for a range of critical military applications. From durable uniforms and robust canvas used for tents and equipment covers to strong ropes and cordage vital for securing supplies, hemp proved its mettle in the most challenging of circumstances. Beyond the fiber, hemp seed oil served as a reliable lubricant for machinery and weapons, while its fibers provided essential packing material for safeguarding delicate military equipment. Even footwear benefited from the durability of hemp during this time. It also contributed to the construction of indispensable items like sacks and bags for transporting ammunition and rations, as well as the creation of belts, straps, and harnesses constructed from hemp-based webbing. These contributions underscore the remarkable role played by U.S. farmers and hemp in supporting the country's efforts during World War I. In all honesty, it's a tale ripe for a conspiracy theorists podcast or, at the very least, the production of this video. So, what exactly was the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937?
Well, the primary aim of the Marijuana Tax Act was not to outright ban cannabis, as believed by many supporters of the plant, but to regulate and tax the cultivation, sale, and possession of cannabis products. It imposed stringent regulations and hefty taxes on those involved in the production of the plant, including hemp grown for commercial purposes like textiles and rope. After the signing of the Tax Act, individuals and businesses engaged in marijuana-related activities had to register and acquire a special tax stamp under this act. These stamps were expensive and difficult to obtain, making it effectively challenging for anyone to legally engage in anything related to cannabis, including commercial hemp products. In truth, it's somewhat surprising that the history of the cannabis plant in America hasn't been romanticized on the big screen, considering the global popularity of commercial cannabis and hemp products. However, if someone were to create the definitive cinematic dramatization of hemp in the United States, the story would most likely begin with something like this.
In the shadowy confines of a dimly lit D.C. bar, a thick haze of smoke hangs in the air, shrouding the room in an eerie, foreboding atmosphere. At a corner booth, bathed in a sinister glow, two impeccably dressed, clean-shaven men engage in hushed conversation. As the shot pans out, the identities of these two men become evident. Harry Anslinger, the first commissioner of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, soon to become the DEA, and William Randolph Hearst, a major movie producer with heavy influence in U.S. culture. Anslinger, notorious for his unrelenting crusade against cannabis, and Hearst, a media mogul who perceives hemp fiber as a grave menace to his paper kingdom, stand as the central architects of hemp's inexorable descent into the abyss of history. With their motives clear, their actions would unleash a tempest that would forever alter the course of this once thriving crop, driving it to the brink of oblivion.
This conspiracy, known later as the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937, would come to mark the beginning of federal regulation and control of cannabis cultivation in the United States. It is widely believed that these two men played pivotal roles in nurturing the stigma surrounding the plant, ultimately leading to the restriction of hemp production, including its use in industrial applications. This culminated in its classification as a Schedule I controlled substance under the Controlled Substances Act of 1970, rendering it illegal at the federal level. But what I want to explore is how this bill affected the production of hemp in the United States. So, let's take a closer look. Similar to the modern Farm Bill, the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 caused a lot of regulatory confusion for the U.S. agricultural community. The act did not explicitly ban hemp production but imposed strict regulations and high taxes on all cannabis-related activities, including hemp cultivation. Does this sound familiar to the modern hemp arena? This confusion discouraged farmers from growing hemp due to the associated regulatory burdens at the federal level, while also causing hysteria based on the creative writings of the Hearst media empire. Secondly, the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 led to a decrease in hemp cultivation throughout the United States. Prior to 1937, hemp had been a significant agricultural crop in the United States. However, the Marijuana Tax Act's restrictive regulations led to a decline in hemp cultivation, to the point that the production of hemp in the U.S. was almost non-existent. With domestic hemp production hampered by the act, the United States increasingly relied on imported hemp to meet its industrial and commercial needs, and production practices in the U.S. slowly were lost to time. Now, let's delve into the enduring impact of these monumental shifts. The Marijuana Tax Act, eventually replaced by the Controlled Substances Act of 1970, ominously branded hemp as a Schedule I controlled substance. Despite these legislative changes, the indomitable link between hemp and Delta-9 THC cast a long, dark shadow in the public consciousness. This stigma shackled hemp cultivation in the United States for decades, until the 2014 Farm Bill cautiously permitted limited hemp cultivation solely for research purposes. This green shoot of progress was confined to states bold enough to embrace hemp cultivation within the bounds of their state laws. But then, in a landmark move, the 2018 Farm Bill shattered the chains that bound hemp to its intoxicating cousin THC, unleashing it onto the path of full legalization and opening the doors wide for commercial cultivation. The resurgence of hemp production ignited a fiery revival of interest, as the nation rekindled its love affair with this versatile plant. Hemp, once consigned to the shadows, stepped into the spotlight, making significant strides across diverse industrial and commercial sectors. Its versatile hemp fibers found a prominent role in the textiles and garment industries, revolutionizing sustainable clothing production. The realm of paper production witnessed a remarkable transformation, with hemp being harnessed as a sustainable resource, minimizing environmental impact. In the construction sector, hemp emerged as a valuable resource for building materials, promoting eco-friendly construction practices. Moreover, the burgeoning cannabinoid industry, with its wide-ranging applications in health and wellness, further underscored hemp's significance.
In essence, hemp not only excelled in these domains, but also exemplified strong commitments to environmental and social governance, ticking all the essential boxes for responsible and sustainable practices.
With the 2018 Farm Bill removing hemp from the clutches of controlled substances and establishing a robust legal framework for its cultivation, the United States witnessed an explosive surge in hemp farming. Yet, within the newfound opportunities, a certain ambiguity lingered in the bill's language, causing industrial titans to exercise caution. Global names in retail remained in the wings, patiently awaiting greater transparency, traceability, and quality controls, essentially, the assurance they needed to join the fray. Just like any other crop, hemp's economic fate varies from state to state, hinging on a unified front embracing best practices, transparency, and traceability. Currently, hemp stands at a crucial juncture, facing intense competition from other domestic crops and grappling with legal ambiguities stemming from opportunistic interpretations of the 2018 Farm Bill. Amidst this landscape, the relentless demand for market knowledge and transparency from consumers, combined with the ever-shifting regulatory terrain, exerts profound influence over its future. Throughout history, global agriculture has witnessed how voluntary certifications have emerged as stalwart pillars in tumultuous markets, offering invaluable guidance, assurance, and trust to both producers and consumers alike. As we navigate the intricate path forward for hemp, certifications like the Responsible Hemp Standard by Control Union may very well serve as the steadfast beacons of stability, guiding farmers through the uncharted waters of this burgeoning industry. The legacy of hemp is a narrative still in the making, and with the right certifications firmly in place, it promises to be a story of unwavering resilience and boundless prosperity, waiting to be etched in history. Stay tuned for more in this series as we explore the promising future of industrial hemp as a certified crop on the global marketplace. For more information, visit us at www.controlunion.com. Click on the Services tab located at the top of the webpage. Then click on Certification Programs, where you will find a description of our Responsible Hemp Standard. This video presentation, The History of U.S. Hemp, was developed and presented by the teams at Control Union USA and Control Union Canada. Thank you for listening.